Hello, today it is time for the last check-in for the 12-week year. So we are just starting the third 4-week section, basically, which is how I chose to kind of approach this project, was having 3 different 4-week segments in which I tried to kind of reevaluate how things were going and set new progress goals, basically. So the other videos will be linked, but a summary would be that I had 4 areas of my life that I wanted to work on: my health, business, finances, that sort of thing, home, and Spanish. So thoughts on how the second round went. Health-wise, I definitely upped my activity level, so kind of my goal was to do something active every single day. It doesn't have to be something intense, but more than just baseline activity. In the first round, I did something 50% of the days. This time, I did something 75% of the days, so that was really, really good. Yeah, so I just keep this running tally in my notes app on my phone because then I can update it really, really easily, and I just check off when I do something and I write down what that was. So as you can see, most of these are not super intense. It's not like I'm working out for like 90 minutes in a gym or something, but like yoga, running is mostly what I was doing, but a couple other random things in there. And so now I've started the third round. So other than my knee hurting, this went really well. So that's kind of the wrench in the gears for it next time, is that I do think it's not like an injury, but it's like a repetitive stress, low-key injury, potential future injury, I guess you could say. So obviously that will factor into the future. But I really floundered on doing any kind of new meal variety, trying to keep things fresh and healthy. I didn't stop eating the stuff that I'd started eating. Like, I started eating a lot more salads and tried to cut back a lot on processed foods, snacks, that sort of thing. And I did still do that. Like, I kept doing those, although maybe not quite as well as I did at the beginning. But I had wanted to add in more healthy meal variety, and I really didn't do that. I have been wearing sunscreen, which is great. I have not been reapplying sunscreen, which is less great because obviously it only lasts for like 2 or 3 hours or something like that. So if I apply it before 8 a.m. and then I'm out in the sun at 2 p.m., that's not really doing me a whole lot of good. But baby steps, we are wearing sunscreen almost every single day. Finances, I wanted to have probably a second draft completed of a product for my brand new Etsy store, which sells digital products. Expenses, I really improved on what I call in my expense tracking spreadsheet fun food. So things like stopping for snacks at a gas station or stopping for a coffee or something like that halved my spending in that category. I was a little bit over on my grocery budget, but I don't mind that. I think I just had too low of an expectation of my grocery budget, partially because I also include any household stuff in that. Like, I'm not itemizing my receipts, so anything I buy at the grocery store is pretty much going in groceries. So if I get cat food or cat litter or paper, I don't buy paper towels, but toilet paper while I'm at the grocery store, that's going in. So anyway, I did some basic branding stuff on Etsy to get my shop finished setting up. I did not do a spruce of my Patreon. I wanted to do kind of branding stuff and do a little bit more on Patreon, and I did not do that yet. Home, I did list some more items on Mercari, and I delivered some stuff to like donation center, family, friends, etc., but this is kind of still in progress. I do still have some stuff I need to deliver, and I have some stuff still active on Mercari. And I did not deep clean my apartment, fill up an art portfolio, or take my recycling. Just didn't happen. Spanish, I did get in what I think will be a really sustainable class routine. I am doing 2 morning classes, group classes before work. So in the evening one time I do a private class. I was trying to do 1 group class and 1 private class in the mornings, and then, other classes in the evening if I could. But I really don't want to do a private class. When I first wake up, I was dreading it basically because it was so mentally taxing, and I'm not really a morning person. So I don't want it to be something that I dread. And the group classes are a little bit more, low pressure because there's other people talking too. So I don't mind doing those in the morning. I did not read aloud. I did not film a Spanish video. And the other thing that happens in this stretch of time is that the last 2 weeks of June were a little friendly competition in the mini immersion Discord for listening. Like, you were supposed to listen to your target languages as much as you could. And I did listen for about 35 and a half hours or something like that of Spanish in the last 2 weeks, which is not anywhere near where it could have been. I was kind of hoping for like 4 or 5 hours a day, and that's only like 2, 3. No, I don't want to say only, like obviously depending on where you're at, that could be a huge amount, but for me, so we'll talk more about that later, but I am happy that's more than I was doing probably in the first half of the month, so I am happy about that. So thoughts going into the 3rd round. Health, obviously the number one thing is taking care of my knee. I think based on reading online that I have kind of starting tendonitis. It's called like patellar tendonitis. And it's really funny because normally, like, reading about it, they're like, this happens to like high volume, intense athletes. And I'm like, but I think going from doing very, very little to doing, it was stupid of me. I ran like 3 days in a row on pavement when I haven't really been running that much lately. So I think I just kind of repetitive stressed a little bit. So I will be just doing some exercises that I found online to try to strengthen that and hopefully prevent it from happening again once it goes away this time. There is a 30-day yoga challenge going on in July from a YouTube channel that I really like for yoga in Spanish. I'll have it on here. I don't necessarily want to only do yoga, so I may try to do that and something else. I'm not sure. And back to what we talked about before, I want to focus on nutrition more. Finance, so 2nd and 3rd digital products I want to be done and posted. I would like to spend $80 a week on groceries plus household items plus cat, and $90 a month on fun food, which, I don't know what normal amounts for these things are, so this may sound like a huge amount to some people. I don't know. Going out to eat with friends or family, snacks, like I said, coffee, etc. I have double charges on my credit card from a subscription that is charging me twice, so I really need to get refunds for those. I'm working on that right now. And I want to close old cards and accounts and consolidate all of my bank stuff. I just need to get all of that into where I want to bank long term so that I don't have to think about it anymore. Home, again, finish up my sales, my deliveries, my recycling, all of that stuff. I really need to do a deep cleaning. Really, home in general as a category, I just kind of pushed to the wayside for the 2nd round, and it needs to come back to the forefront a little bit for the 3rd round. And then Spanish. Okay, so I have a come to Jesus meeting about routine. That's kind of, in jest, but I need to figure out what's going on with me in Spanish. I'm just so uninspired right now in Spanish, and it's not that I don't want to like improve in my Spanish, because I know like some people hit like B2 and they're like, well, that's my goal, like I'm good. I'm not good with it. I want to be better than this, but again, I'm just feeling uninspired, like, for lack of a way to say it in a non-cheesy way, I need to like fall back in love with Spanish, and obviously that's difficult to like artificially induce, but as much as I can, I need to artificially induce it. Something that might help with that is doing other languages, like doing some Portuguese, maybe doing some German again. For one thing, doing other languages makes me grateful for what I am able to do in Spanish. and it just makes me remember why I like learning languages, that kind of thing. And also just maybe giving me a little bit of a break. I don't know. I thought about keeping some of the other goals that I had, like recording a video in Spanish, but I was like, I feel like it's silly to just keep rolling over goals that were very achievable but just didn't happen, so clearly are not something that is working for me right now. So I just decided to just let go of those ideas until we figure out our motivation here. I think as far as how I feel like the project is going overall, I don't think I like 12 weeks because I think this middle section didn't feel super productive to me. Like, I think next time I do this, I want to do 4 weeks, a week off, and then another 4 weeks, and just call it a day. So like a 9-week year. I don't know. Because I feel like it would be good to take a little breather between like pushes, but the second one kind of felt like a filler episode between the other two. And that's probably my fault for not, I don't know. The first one, I had really clear goals. I also had some time off, so that was motivating. But it was like, I felt like this giant push, like we're doing these things. And then this one, obviously I feel like, well, this is the end. So whatever else I want to accomplish in this 12 weeks has to happen now. But the middle one, I didn't feel that sense of urgency. So yeah, I don't know, something to think about. But we'll see how this next one goes. But otherwise, I still like this project. I do think my goals have gotten a little bit cloudy, unfocused maybe. So probably better thought into the initial goals would have been beneficial. But nonetheless, I do feel like this has kept me much more focused through the summer than I would have been otherwise. So I am very grateful for that. That is everything. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.